This conference will now be recorded.
In today's class, I will explain event handling. First, we will see what is event handling, and the very important question for exam point of view is explain delegation event model, or the question can be event delegation model. This is very important question for exam point of view. Now we will see first what is event handling. Event handling, see, we will read first, after that I will explain. Event handling is the mechanism that controls the event and decides what should happen if an event occurs. The delegation event model defines standard and consistent mechanisms to generate and process events. Its concept is quite simple. We will see. A source generates an event and sends it to one or more listeners. In this scheme, the listener simply waits until it receives an event. Once received, the listener processes the event and then returns. So here, if you read this para, here three important points. What are the three important terms in event handling is, first one is event source, second is event, next third is event listener. With respect to these three terms, we will explain event handling. We will see what are these three terms with examples. This is the example for event handling. So here, if we see, this is button now. This is called event source. This means next. What is this event source here? This is the button AWT control. It is called next is event source. See, in the following example, the button next is event source. Next, when we click the button, so when we click this button next, then an event is generated. Next, the event is listened by the listeners to perform the next action going to the next page. What is the next action? Next action is when you click this next button, it will go to the next page, If you typed wrong mail, then you will get error. So what is the next action is, whether it will go to the next page, or if it is a mistake, then it will show the error. So here in this example, we will see what is the event source, what is event, and what is listener. Here this button next is called event source. Next, when we click this button, an event is generated. That is called event. Next, that event is listened by one or more listeners to perform the next action. So here the third important concept is listeners. So event source, next event, next listeners. With respect to these three terms, we will explain the event handling all programs. So this is the best example for event handling. This next is event source. When you click this button, event is generated. That is called event. To listen that event, so one or more listeners are there. They are called listeners. What is the role of listeners is to perform the action when an event is generated. Next. So how do we explain the event delegation model is with respect to these three terms. First one is event, second is event source, third is event listener. So already I explained the example now. So you can see this event. What is the definition of event? Next, what is event source? And what is event listener? Next, one more important point is in applets, all the events are classes. All the events are predefined classes, and all the event listeners are predefined interfaces. So in the event delegation model, all the events are classes and all the event listeners are interfaces. Classes and interface both are predefined. We can't write on our own. So if you see event, see pressing a button, this is called clicking a button or pressing a button is called an event. And clicking the mouse, it is also an event. Or type a character in the keyboard, that is called an event. Next, what are the event source? All the AWT controls are event sources. AWT controls means text area, text field, like that. Next, event listeners are what is the role of event listeners? Whenever an event is generated, the listener has to listen that event and it has to do the corresponding action. or this one. That is the role of event listener. Event listeners are interfaces, no? So inside event listener means interfaces, we have abstract methods. We will see next what are the predefined events and event listeners. Next we will see event delegation methods. So event is a predefined class. Event source means all AWT controls, and this applet window also called event source. So AWT controls are text area, text fields, all these you know. Next, event listener is a predefined interface. These three are very, very important in event delegation model. Event source, and event listener. Next, see, when an action is performed on an event source, event is generated. Understand these 3 points. When an action is performed on an event source, an event is generated. Next, the event listeners will wait until an event is generated. Next, once an event is performed, one or more listeners will listen the events and parse the corresponding methods. These 3 points are very, very important. And you know these three. Now we will see some of the predefined event classes and listener interfaces. As already explained, events are classes and listeners are interfaces. See, so we will see what are the event classes. The first one is action event. What is the corresponding interface for action event? Action listener. Next, mouse event means for mouse event there are two listeners. What are the two listeners? Mouse listener and mouse motion listener. Next, key event key listener. Item event item listeners. Next, text event text listener. That's why like that for each event class there is the corresponding event listeners, event interfaces or listener interfaces. So here action event means action listener. In today's class I will explain only mouse event and key event. I will explain only 2 programs in the today's class. Next class I will see these are the that AWT control programs. AWT controls means text area, text field, button, list, like that, radio button, checkbox. All those are called AWT controls. Okay, in today's class I will explain only programs on mouse events and key events. Only these are the 2 programs I will explain in today's class. In next class I will explain the programs on AWT controls. So read this table, then you can understand. Next. So next, in applet class already we know how many methods are there. 5 methods are there, no? In applet class. What are the 5 methods? What are the 5 life cycle methods of applet class? Last class I explained. Init, start, paint, next, stop, destroy. The first 3 methods are executed automatically. What are the first 3 methods? Init, start, and paint. Now we will see. In the last class programs, we have written overriding paint method. And now here overriding init method also important when you write event handling programs. So in event handling programs, we should override both init and paint. We will see what is the difference between these two. Now first I will explain what is the role of init method in event handling. Why we should override init method of the applet class in our program. First I will explain the init method. See, public void init syntax, public void init. So inside the init method, it is performing 3 things. First one is it will create the objects for class. Class means predefined class, event class, using constructor. Next, what is the meaning of this is for event sources which are AWT controls. Next, registration of listeners to source. Understand this init method. This is very, very important. Third one is adding our own AWT controls to applet window. So here create objects for class using constructor means you know all event sources are AWT controls, no? So if you use text field, we have to create object for text field using the corresponding constructor. Next, after that, what is the second step is we have to register the listeners. Listeners means interfaces. We have to register the listeners to the source. What is the source here? Again, source can be AWT controls or Source can be applet window also. Next, third one is adding our AWT controls to applet. So these are the three steps we have to write init method when you write event handling programs. Understand these three steps. When you write the programs, you can understand. Now in today's class, I will explain only mouse event and keyboard event. No, so only second step is required for today's class. For the next class, we will use all the three steps of init method. This is called overriding init method. Next, paint method also we can override like in the last class program. What is the role of paint method is it will display whatever you write inside the paint method using g dot draw string. That message will be displayed on the applet window. Here I have written clearly. If we want to display something on the applet window, always use overriding paint method. But for event handling programs, this overriding init method is must for all the programs. For AWT controls programs, we will use all the three steps, but only for mouse handling and keyboard handling, we will use only the second step. I will explain in depth when we do programs. Next, first we will write the programs on how to handle mouse events and how to handle keyboard events. These two programs are separate and AWT control programs are separate because there is a lot of difference in the init method. In the init method of the AWT controls, we will use all the three steps. But whereas when we write the programs using mouse and keyboard events, we will use only the second step. Why the difference? I will explain with respect to programs. Next, what I think already you know what is the last class? Already explained in depth about applet class, no? Applet class consists of 5 methods. What are applet class is a predefined class. It is there in the java.applet package, and in applet class we have 5 methods. They are init, start, paint, next stop, describe. We have written programs on applet in the last class by using all these 5 life cycle methods of the applet class. Now in event handling programs, we must override init and paint method. Why we must override init method is inside the init method. This is called overriding init method. Inside the init method, we are creating objects for AWT controls. Next, we are registering the listeners to the sources. Source means AWT control. And we are adding the AWT controls to the applet window. So to do all these three tasks, we must use init method. Init method, a paint method, and start method are the methods which are executed automatically. No need to invoke. But start, stop, and destroy methods must be invoked by the programmer. Our last class I explained now how do we invoke start, stop, and destroy. Now in today's class we will complete these two programs. Understand carefully and understand what is the difference between AWT control programs and mouse and keyboard events programs. This is one part. That's why I have divided again into two parts. First part is I am explaining only mouse and keyboard events. In the next class I will explain AWT control programs. AWT controls, all of you know AWT controls. What are AWT controls? Tell me some AWT controls. First one is whenever you want to create form, application form, like that, for that you have to use AWT controls. To create an application form, we need text field. Your text field is only writing one sentence. Text area, if you want to write more sentences, you have to use text area. Next, button. Button means whenever you click that button, means submit, like after filling the entire application form, you need to submit now using the submit. Submit is a button. Whenever you click the submit button, some action is generated. Means your application form is submitted to somebody else now. Whoever created that application form, like Google form. You know Google forms now. Now all are using Google form. Whenever you fill that Google form with your data, finally you have to use submit now. Submit is a button. When you click that submit button, some action is generated. and some action means some event is generated and some listeners are there to listen that event and to apply the corresponding methods. Listener's role is to apply some methods. I will explain in depth, don't worry. Now, the understand the difference between AWT controls programs and mouse and keyboard events programs. These two are separate concept. AWT control programs are separate. Why? Because what is the difference between these two programs and AWT control programs is, in AWT control programs, we use all the three steps of init method. But in mouse and keyboard events programs, I will use only second step, that is registration of listeners to the event source. Only this step I will use. Why, I will explain now. Now shall we start this one? Programs on mouse events and programs on keyboard events. These are entirely different from the AWT control programs. That's why in today's class I will explain only these two. Today after the class, please execute these two programs. Then you can understand more clearly. Next class I will explain AWT control programs using text field, text area, next button list, this radio button, yeah, next checkbox. All those are called AWT controls. I will explain in the next class. Now see, these two programs are also easy, but try to understand and please execute the programs. Now first we will see mouse events. Mouse means, see, every day we are using this mouse now in our whenever you want to do anything with the computer, we will use mouse like this, drag, move. Now we will see mouse events. This event indicates, see here, in mouse events, to write a program on mouse events, we should know mouse event class and mouse. The two interfaces are there. Already I have given in the table. To write the mouse event program, we have to take this class mouse event, and what are the listeners corresponding to this mouse event class are mouse listener and mouse motion listener. So using this class and these two interfaces, I will write the program on mouse event. Exam point of view, these programs are important. Write a program using mouse events in event handling, or write a program using keyboard events in event handling. These two questions are very, very important. Today practice this. So already explained, no? Mouse event is a class and mouse listener and mouse motion listener. These two are interfaces corresponding to this class. Next. So in mouse event class, there are three methods, int getX, int getY, and int get click counts. These are the three methods which are there in the mouse event class. Mouse event is a predefined class. Next, mouse listener. It is an interface, and in interface consists of only abstract methods. No? So some class which implements that interface must provide implementation to all the abstract methods of this interface. So in mouse listener interface, we have 5 methods. What are the 5 methods? All these are abstract methods, remember. So in what are the 5 methods of the mouse listener class are mouse clicked, see, mouse void, mouse clicked, and it is taking mouse event ME. Mouse means mouse clicked is a method, abstract method, which is taking mouse event class object as parameter. You know, in methods can take the parameters as objects. Like that, here mouse clicked is an abstract method and the return type is void and the parameter is mouse event class object. Already you know mouse event. So using this mouse event class object ME, I can use getX, getY and get click counts. Next, like that, what are the 5 methods of mouse listener class? Mouse listener interface, mouse clicked, mouse pressed, mouse released, mouse entered, mouse exited. I will explain all these 5 methods with respect to the program. Then you can understand these methods in depth. Next, what is the other listener for mouse events? Mouse motion listener. It is also a predefined interface. It consists of 2 abstract methods. They are mouse dragged and mouse moved. These two are also taking the mouse event class object as parameter. So when you want to write mouse events program, you must remember mouse event class and the methods of the mouse event class and mouse listener interface and the 5 methods of the mouse listener interface and mouse motion listener and the 2 methods of the mouse motion listener. So if you understand these, if you remember all these, then you can write the program easily on your own. Any doubt ask. Now shall we see the program? See. Now see this note. For mouse event and keyboard event programs, AWT controls are not required. Why? Because only with respect to the for these two programs, the event source is only applet window. Inside the applet window, we are performing mouse events and keyboard events. So that's why no need of text box, text area, and the checkbox like that. That's why here the source is applet window for both the programs, mouse event and keyboard event. When we don't want to use AWT controls, then no need of the first step and second step of init method. So now we are not using AWT controls because the event source is applet window. That's why AWT controls are not required. We are not adding any AWT controls to the applet window. Directly we are taking the applet window as it is, and we are performing mouse events and keyboard events. That's why here AWT controls are not required. That's why no need of first step and third step. Only second step, that is registration of listeners to the event source enough. That's why these two programs are different from AWT control programs. That's why I wanted to explain separately, separate class. Now we will see the program. Now I think all of you know about mouse event class and mouse listener and mouse motion listener. If you understand this class and these two interfaces, writing the program is easy only. You can write on your own. See, I will explain one program I have done. Execute this program. I have kept the screenshots also. I will explain the output with respect to the screenshots. Now, handling mouse event. Next, all these programs are under event handling. Already we have done applet programs. So compare applet programs and event handling programs. When you compare these two programs, there only two import statements are needed now in applet programs. But in event handling programs, we need three import statements. See, we will see. Import java.applet.star, import java.awt.star. Already we have taken these first two import statements in applet programs also. In addition to these two import statements, we will use one more import statements specifically for event handling programs. This is must. What is the other third import statement here we should write is import java.awt.event.star, because we are saying events are classes and listeners are interfaces. No? So for that we need to import one more package. What is that package is import java.awt.event. What does it mean is event is again a sub package of java.awt. So whenever you want to write event handling programs, we need to import these these three packages. What are the three packages? Java.applet, java.awt, java.awt.event. But to write the applet programs, the first two import statements are enough. That is the one more difference between applet programs and event handling programs. So you must write three import statements. That is the first important thing to remember. Next, shall we write applet tag like in applet programs? See, we are using applet program and we are adding some more concepts that's in event handling programs. See, we will see. What is the applet tag? Already you know this statement in depth I explained in the last class. So applet code always put in the comments. These comments are skipped by the compiler. Now comment open close. Next applet tag open. So already we know this syntax, no? whatever class we are taking here, for that one after compilation dot class file is created. Inside the applet tag in code is equal to write the dot class file of this class. What is the dot class file of this mouse event? Short form is mouse. That is applet code is equal to put in double quotes, that is mouse eve dot class. Next, what is the width of the applet window and the height of the applet window? You can write your own numbers. This is the size of the applet window. Inside the applet window only we are doing mouse actions. And this is the closing tag, applet tag. Always applet tag must be in the comments. We can write these comments either inside the class or outside the class. But last class I explained better practice is before the class. Next, shall we start class? Now class, this is the class name. All applet pro event handling is also under applets only. That's why the class must extend applet and implements mouse listener and motion listener. So our class extends applet means in applet class we have five life cycle methods are there. No, all the 5 life cycle methods are inherited to this class. That is the meaning of extends applet. But if you want to override, you override some methods. No need to override no when you write extends applet. But in event handling programs, we are overriding 2 methods of applet class. They are init and paint. But if it is a normal applet program, we will override only paint method. That is one more difference between only normal applet programs and event handling programs. So here in event handling programs, we will override init method and paint method of the applet class. You remember that. Next, after that, every class must extend applet and implements. It depends on the program. Because we are writing the mouse event program now. That's why this extends applet is must for all the programs. But this second implements is it depends on your program. So here we are writing the program on mouse events now. That's why we are writing implements mouse listener and mouse motion listener. In mouse listener we have 5 methods, abstract methods, and in mouse motion listener we have 2 abstract methods. So 5 plus 2. Any class which implements these 2 listeners must provide the implementation for all the 7 methods. Because this interface consists of 5, this interface consists of 2. So this class must implement all the 7 methods of the mouse listener and mouse motion listener interfaces. But extends applet means no need to overwrite all the 5 methods of the applet class. Here, but in the event handling programs, it is overriding only init and paint methods of the applet class. Remember that. So here in mouse event class, will override 2 methods of the applet class. They are init and paint, and it has to give implementation to all the 7 methods of mouse listener and mouse motion listener interfaces. That is the main concept. If you understand this point, program is 1 minute. So here this mouse event class is in mouse event class we are overriding init method and paint method of the applet class, and this class must provide implementation to 5 methods of mouse listener and 2 methods of mouse motion listener. Because the interface consists of only abstract methods, any class which implements the interfaces must provide implementations to all the abstract methods of the 2 interfaces. Already you know these concepts. This line is very, very important. Once you understand this line, program 1 minute. We will see the program. So first we will see string. Already I explained in the last class while overriding all the life cycle methods of the applet class. I have taken string message is equal to empty. Means message holds empty string. This is global variable which is used by all the methods of this class. Next, already explained. No? Extends applet means in event handling programs we are overriding init method and paint method of the applet class. So this is called overriding init method, and this is called overriding paint method. 2 methods we are overriding. So next we will see what is there in init method. So in the overriding init method we have written, already explained in init method. No? In init method, 3 steps are there, but for mouse handling and event handling programs, no need of AWT controls. The event source is here, applet window. That's why we need not take AWT controls. That's why first step and third step are not required for mouse and event handling programs. That's why only registration of listeners, one step is enough. And now what are the listeners we have taken here for mouse events? Mouse listener and mouse motion listener. Next, registration of the mouse listener and the mouse motion listener to the source. What is the source? Source is applet window for mouse event and keyboard event. Source is applet window. Now what is this step? Registration of the listeners. Here we are taking two listeners, mouse listener and mouse motion listener, and we are registering the two listeners to the source, that is applet window. Understand the program, don't by heart. Understand each and every line, easy only. Next, so init method. So first step, creation of object is not necessary, and adding that object to the applet window is not necessary because our source is here applet window. So to register our listeners to applet window, that is important. Only second step is enough for these type of programs. Now what I have written, this is second step. Our listeners are to be registered to applet window. How to register our listeners to applet window is, see this one, add mouse listener of this. Next, add mouse motion listener of this. These two steps are for registering our listeners to applet window because applet window is our source. So init method, overriding init method is completed. Next, we will see the paint method of the applet class. We are overriding these two methods. So public void paint graphics G. Next, G dot draw string of message, comma 50, comma 60. Already explained in depth about G dot draw string, which will display this message on the applet window at the location 50, comma 60. So here we are overriding init method of the applet class and paint method of the applet class. Up to this extends applet completed. Next, what is the other thing here? We have taken implements mouse listener and mouse motion listener. Here we have 5 methods, abstract methods. Here we have 2 abstract methods. Totally there are 7 abstract methods. Inside this class, we must give implementation to all the 7 abstract methods. Now we will see what are the methods of mouse listener. 5 methods you must remember. Mouse clicked, pressed, released, entered, exited. So here mouse motion listener, dragged, moved. So we will write the implementation part in our class. This is must, otherwise you will get error. See what we have written. Public void mouse clicked. What is the syntax? Syntax is already given in the interface now. So public void mouse clicked. This must be public, already explained in the overriding methods. Next, they are implementing interfaces, already explained. Public, this is must. Next, public void mouse clicked of mouse event. How do I write the implementation part is message is equal to inside message. Initially message is having a null string. Now message is mouse clicked because this is the mouse clicked method. That's why I have written mouse clicked. After that, repaint I have written. Why I have written repaint, I will explain when I explain the flow. Next, like that, see all the methods are implemented. See mouse entered, mouse event. See here, for some methods I am taking message, and for some methods I am taking set background method, which changes the background color to one color. So set background is a method. This is the parameter of set background method is color dot red. Color is a predefined class. We can use any color as you like. So in some methods I have used message. In some methods I have changed the color of the background using set background of color dot red, color dot green. Next, repaint. Next, mouse edited. This is also color change, and as well as message also I have taken. When you execute the program, you can understand more clear. Next, mouse released, set background color. Next, mouse pressed, only set background. Next, mouse dragged. Here message I have taken, mouse dragged. Next, mouse moved, this one. See all the 7 methods I have implemented In some methods I have taken message. In some methods I have taken only background color change. In some one method I have taken both, in that is mouse exited. I have taken both set background color and message. Like this I have repaint, I will explain. Like this I have written the program. Now we will see the compilation and execution. So how do we compile this program? With respect to execution only, you can understand this program. How do we execute? How do we compile first? First, how do we save this file? moveEve.class.java. Next, how do we compile Java C file name moveEve.java. Next, how do we execute applet viewer? All these are applet programs, no? Applet viewer moveEve.java. You know the syntax for execution for applet program. Same. All these are applet programs only. So same concept, same flow. But we will see here. You have to note down one. When you execute this program using applet viewer, that is applet viewer moveEve.java, what will happen is the applet viewer will consider only this comments part. So only it will execute this part. What is there in this one? Applet viewer will execute only this part. Remember, only comments part will be executed by the applet viewer, and comments part is skipped by the compiler. You remember these two statements. Applet viewer will enter into this one. Here, what is this applet tag? moveEve.class means this dot class file is executed by the applet viewer. Next, what we have written, width is equal to 300 and height is equal to 400 means an applet window of width 300 and height 400 is created. Next, when you execute this program, this dot class file is executed. See here, first it will take extends applet. Extends applet means the first three methods are executed automatically. What are the first three methods? Init method is executed automatically. Then paint method is executed automatically. These two methods are executed automatically. First, an applet window is created with size 300, 400. After that, for that applet window, two listeners are added. Mouse listener and mouse most listener are added to the applet window of width 300 and height 400. First, this method is executed. After that, paint method is executed. Draw string of message. Message is initially null string, no? So here message is null string. So init method and paint method are executed automatically whenever you execute the program with applet viewer. So what is the output after this is? So init and paint method are executed automatically, no? So you will get the empty applet window because message is having null string, no? That's why nothing is there. But this is applet life cycle methods are executed. Init and only start method, that is applet started. So after execution of init and paint methods by the applet viewer, the empty applet window is created. Next, now we will see the mouse events. Next, this is the empty applet window, no? Now this is the empty applet window is created. Now what we will do is we have 7 actions now. Mouse moved. First, what I will take, I will move the mouse like this, and this mouse is entered into the applet window. This is screenshot now. When you execute, you can see clearly. See, first initially mouse is outside. After that, my mouse is, after moving my mouse, I will go to the applet window. That is mouse moved and entered. Here important points are two moved and entered should be done parallelly. First moved, then entered. Note down this. Moved first, second entered. That is one combination. Note down the combinations. Moved and entered, one combination. Next, pressed and dragged, one combination. Next, pressed, clicked, and released, one combination. See, out of seven actions, 2 plus 2 plus 3. First one is moved and entered, one combination. Second combination is pressed and dragged. Third combination is pressed, clicked, and released. If you write the combinations like this, then only you can understand the program. If you want to write please. Otherwise, you can't understand this program. Only combination only we have to take. A single action cannot be done. How do I enter into this applet window with the first mouse is outside the applet window? No? From outside, we have to take the mouse to inside the applet window. No? That's why first we have to apply mouse moved, then only it will be entered into the applet window. That's why note down the combinations. Moved, entered, one combination. Next, pressed, dragged, one more combination. Next, third combination is pressed, clicked and released. That is third combination. Totally seven. Seven are divided like this. Moved, entered, pressed, dragged, pressed, clicked and released. First we will see first combination. Moved and entered we will see. Like that you can understand the remaining combination. I will explain moved and dragged. Where is moved? Mouse moved. Initially mouse is outside the applet window. After moving the mouse, then only it will enter into the applet window. Directly mouse entered we can't use. Mouse moved. Inside mouse moved, I have written the text message. Mouse moved. Repaint means whenever you invoke repaint, this from repaint it will go to the paint method. Repaint means from that repaint method, the flow goes to the paint method. Where is paint method? Repaint means from repaint method, it will go to the paint method. So this is paint method. See, from repaint, it will go to the paint method to print the message on the applet window. That is the using the g.drawScript. Next, first combination I will explain. Mouse moved. This is mouse moved. Next, mouse entered. Where is mouse entered? This is mouse entered. Whenever the mouse entered into the applet window, the background color of the applet window is changed to red. Initially it is white, no? That color is red. Now we will see the output. What is the output of the first combination is moved and entered. Moved means text message moved and entered means that it is changing the color of the applet window. So we will see the output of the moved and entered. I have written clearly. See, this is one. This is the output of the first combination. What is the first combination? Moved and entered. Moved means text message and entered means I have changed the color of the background to red color. This is the first combination. Like that you can see all the combinations. Pressed and dragged. I have written clearly. Third combination is pressed, clicked and released. This is the output of the first combination. Next output of the second combination is this one. This is the combination of mouse exited. Okay. Next is the combination of mouse dragged, pressed and dragged. Okay, no? Already I have written clearly this one. Mouse pressed and dragged output. So these are the three. Please execute today only. So this is the program on mouse events. Similarly, keyboard event is very easy. If you understand this, in the same way you study keyboard. See key events. How do we write a keyboard event is? Here key event is a class. Here again we have two methods, get key char and get keyboard. Next key listener. Here we have three listeners, key typed, key pressed, key typed and key released. Here this is one combination. Press the key and type the key, then release the key. So here only three methods are there. So here I have written the program on this. You can easily understand this program. But only difference between the previous program and this program is here you have to write add key listener of this and then write request focus method. Why? Because here after adding the listeners, here we are not mouse this whenever you move the mouse means we are taking the mouse to the applet window. But keyboard we can't take to the applet window now. That's why for that we have to write request focus method. Means we are focusing our keyboard to applet window. This is the one important point here. Otherwise, it is the remaining are same as the previous program. The key pressed. You can write set background. Next, show status means in the status bar you will get the this message to be printed on the status bar. That is at the bottom of the applet window. So now how do we write keyboard event program? Three import statements must. Next, this is the applet tag is must within the comments. Next, after that, keyboard event extends applet is must and implements the corresponding listener. What is the listener? The corresponding to the keyboard event is key listener, only one listener. But mouse event, two listeners. Next here I have taken char ch is equal to in the previous program I have taken string message. That message we can print, but here keyboard event means only one character no typed. That's why I have taken char ch is equal to empty char. Next init method. In the inside the init method, in addition to the adding the register to the adding the listeners to the applet window, you have to write one more method, that is request focus. This is first. Next after that, this is what any class which implements the key listener. Inside the key listener we have three methods only. No, what are the three methods of the key listener interface? Key pressed, key typed, key released. Like mouse pressed, mouse clicked, mouse released. Same mouse also, these three combinations same. Mouse pressed, clicked, released. Here like that, key pressed, typed and released. So for all these three methods, we have given implementation in the class which implements the key listener. What are the three methods? See, key pressed, key released, key typed. Simple program. This is only three methods we have to give implementation. And init method and paint method are the overriding methods of the applet class. Next, so here is set background, show status, and I have taken like this, key typed. Get key char means whatever key you typed no using the keyboard, that character will be stored in ch. Next after that, you inside the paint, whenever you write repaint no, from repaint it will go to the paint method, which will display the char on the applet window using drawstring method. Drawstring method is there in the graphics class. So but here see, character is a single character now, but the drawstring method is taking string as the first parameter. That's why empty string plus character is string. Like that, in factorial of a number we have written like this. No? So if it is character or numerical value, you have to add empty string to get the string. See, because it is taking the first parameter as string. Now we will see the output. So first we have to press the key. No? After that, key is typed. Order is pressed. What is the order for this one? First you have to press the key. Next after that you have to type the key. Then after that you have to release the key. So these are the three. Now we will see the output. So using the, see how do we remember is here extends applet we have written. Extends applet means only two overriding methods we have written in the program, init method and paint method. Next, implements key listener. In key listener interface we have three methods. That's why we have implemented all the three methods. That's it. Simple. Now we will compile. How do we save the file? Key event.java. How do we execute? How do we compile? Java C key event.java. How do we execute? Applet viewer key eve.java. Whenever you write applet viewer key eve.java, first applet viewer entered into this program and it will execute only this comment statement. So that's why inside comments means the applet viewer execute only applet tag. Inside the applet tag, I have written code is equal to key.class. Means it will execute this Java program. Means this class. That's why here we have written .class file. And this is the size of the applet window. Now when we execute this program, what will happen? Next, one applet window is created. So what will happen? So first, what will happen? First, init method is executed and paint method is executed, but inside the paint method is empty char is there now. That's why, like in the previous program, only empty applet window is created with only empty applet window is created. Nothing is there. After that, what I will do is I will press the key. Now using the keyboard, you please press one key. That is key pressed. This whenever you press the key in the keyboard, this method is executed by the interface key listener. Whenever an event is generated, listener will listen the interface, listen the event, and it will invoke the corresponding method. What is the corresponding method is which is invoked by the key listener is first key pressed. Whenever you press the key pressed method is invoked. Okay, who will invoke this key pressed is listener will invoke the corresponding method. Key listener is the interface, means it is the listener. Now key pressed method is executed. What is there in the key pressed method? We have written set background of color dot green. That is key pressed. So our background color of the applet window is set to green. See that, like that's why this is green. Means first key pressed method is executed, sequence follow. After that, you type one key. No, I have typed J. When you execute the program, you type one char. Whenever you type one char, these are the three actions to be done. First key pressed, the background color of the applet window is set as green. After that, key typed. What is there in the key typed method? Ch is equal to ke dot get key char. Get key char means it is taking our character. I have typed J when I execute the program. So that this is get char method. See, get key char method is there in key event class. That's why with respect to key event object, we have to invoke get key char. That's why I have written ke dot get key char. That is stored in ch. Next, after that, I have typed j. No, that's why ch stores j. After that, I have invoked repaint. No, from repaint it will go to the paint method. Repaint means it will invoke the paint method. So inside the paint method, what I have written g dot draw string of string plus ch. J plus string is string. So our j is stored in the string. That is j in starting location. To print j is 100. This is j. The location starting location is j 100 comma 100. So what is the output of key type is j. Using paint method, I have printed on the applet window. Next, so pressed is completed, the typed is completed. After that, we will release the key. No, that is called key released. So what I have written in this is to show the difference. Key pressed means background color is set as green. Key typed means using the paint method, that character is typed printed on the applet window J. After that, third sequence, in the sequence key pressed, key typed, and key released. Key released means in the show status bar I have written key released using show status method. That's why whenever that key released method is executed, see in the status bar key released. So this key pressed, using key pressed, I have changed the background color as green, and using key typed, I have printed the character J on the applet window. Next, using the key released method, I have printed key released on the status bar. This is called status bar. That's why three actions here we can see in clearly. First action is background color is set as green using which method? Key pressed. Next, this J is printed using key typed method. Next, this key released is printed on the status bar using key released method. That's why this is the program we can write in the exam using key events. So these two programs are entirely different from AWT controls. Here in these two programs, the source or the event source is applet window. That's why in the init method, first and third steps are not required. Only register the listeners to the directly to the applet window. Here, no need of any AWT controls. That is the gist of these two programs. Any doubt? Next class we will see AWT controls. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Namma.
Yes, ma'am.
Only 42 students attended. Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Why Amma only 42 students attended? ఇలా తినకపోతే మీరు ఇప్పుడు డైరెక్ట్ గా ఎగ్జామ్ పెడతారంటమ్మా రీఓపెన్ అవ్వంగానే జేఎన్టీ నుంచి వచ్చింది అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారు జేఎన్టీ నుంచి సర్క్యులర్ వచ్చింది నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకా ఆఫ్టర్ రీఓపెనింగ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ హౌ టు రైట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ అంట ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ కండక్ట్ చేయమని మాకు అఫీషియల్ గా సర్క్యులర్ వచ్చిందమ్మా ఏం చేస్తారు మరి వినట్లేదు ఏమి మీకోసమేమో మేము మెటీరియల్స్ చేసి అంత స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ పెట్టి అర్థమయ్యేటట్టు చేస్తున్నాం అయినా మీరేమో వినట్లేదు సిఆర్ అన్నారమ్మా స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్
మేడం తీసాను మేడం.
ఉన్నావా
మేడం
గణేష్
తీసినాను మేడం. ఉన్నాను మేడం.
సరేనమ్మా ఉన్నావమ్మా గుడ్ మరి ఎట్లానమ్మా మరి మీ కొంచెం అందరికి చెప్పు 42 నీకు ఎంతమంది వచ్చారమ్మా
మేడం 48 మేడం 958 తీసినాను 48
అమ్మా
అదే 958 తీసినాను
అదే అంటే నేను మధ్యలో చూడలేదు క్లాస్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు చూస్తే అంటే మరి లీవ్ అయిపోయారేమో ఇప్పుడు చూస్తే 42 ఉన్నారు సరే 48 పెడతావా
ఎస్ మ్యామ్
48 మీ మేడం కి ఇచ్చేస్తున్నావమ్మా
లేదు మేడం అదే మీరు కౌంట్ పెడితే అదే ఫైనల్ ఇంకా మేడంకి ఏమి ఇవ్వట్లేదు మేడం మీరు అదే గ్రూప్ లో కౌంట్ పెడతారు కదా మేడం అదే ఫైనల్ ఇంకా
అవునా
అవును మేడం
48 అయితే టోటల్
ఎస్ మ్యామ్
ఇంతకుముందు 54 అట్లా ఉండేవారు తగ్గిపోతుంటే ఎట్లారమ్మా ఒకసారి అందరికి మెసేజ్ పెడతావా
పెడతాను మేడం
నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకా మీకు క్లాసులు ఉండవంటమ్మా ఇంకా మీరు క్లాసులు ఉంటాయి ఏదో అని అనుకోబాకండి డైరెక్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ రాసేటట్టు ఉండాలి ఓకేనా సరేనమ్మా సాయి సార్ అంటే జాయిన్ అవ్వండి ఓకేనా ఓకేనమ్మా
ఓకే మ్యామ్
ఓకేనమ్మా లీవ్ ద క్లాస్ అండ్ జాయిన్ ద సాయి సార్ క్లాస్ ఓకేనా ఓకేనమ్మా బాయ్
బాయ్ మ్యామ్
బాయ్ అమ్మా చదవండి ఈరోజు